So my joke this year, and for the time being, is my rap slash trap, especially trap scores are all gonna be is YB better or not? Because the joke is that every fucking trap record that we get, very few, you got your Snots of the world and then a couple others records, M&A and whatnot, where they really actually experiment and make good records. 21 always, he never misses. So many of them are so incredibly bland that it's the same recycled beat over and over again that we don't need to hear anymore. Um, and something that, literally we just did with King Von. You have these posthumous records that do not need to be made. You have a lot of things that could be done in trap that don't need to be done, but they're done anyways. You have your Pop Smoke records and whatnot, and all these other things that don't need to be done, but they're done anyways because it's going to create attention, is going to create monetary value for a lot of these artists and for a lot of these artists, record labels and everything. And the fact that that's still being done now, and you can hear just how bland and monotone it is, it shows you that rap and trap production, the producers, minus Metro Boomin, maybe a couple others, they ran out of ideas. They've been doing the same beats and stuff for a decade or so. And now they really need to step it forward this year. They need to pull from so many different avenues, which they can do. And you hear it in certain artists. You hear it from Vince Staples, from Snot, from Aminé, and a couple other artists, that make really, really good beats, that make, Kenny Beats, like, example, that's a great producer. He has such a wide range.
One of the best in the game.
Exactly. You can pull from EDM.
Really fast. Kenny Beats, for example,
Yeah.
and Metro Boomin, the ones who break the echelon for us in Audioface about like what is a good producer versus what's just barely scraping it, are artists who have transcended their genre. Kenny
100%.
Beats started in EDM,
Yep.
and then went on to rap, and then just recently killed it with Idols in like alternative punk rock. Okay.
Yeah.
So like then you have Metro Boomin, who starts being trap, almost gets a little bit repetitive out there, but then starts producing the most like thoughtful trap beats out there, then mixes it with James Blake, then mixes it with a whole bunch of other different artists, and now we see the moon. Yeah. And so like, and you get this a little bit with a couple artists as well. Like I want to shout out, like there's that one Gorillaz track that was done with a trap artist. Like I'm totally blanking it out right now, but there's these branches that we do like that, Dead Butterflies, I'll get it later, but there's examples like that where artists can, or like trap producers need to really push it and do better for the rappers. But I'm gonna go even further and say like the rappers are also like not bringing like they're not pulling it up here, right?
The male rappers are really, really bland. Female rappers are fucking killing it. They're really, they're going full guns blazing. Their flow is great. Women are really good in trap, and I just can only see them going up and up and up with their flow. The only thing I worry is that some of the producers and the production can hold them back a little bit, and I don't want that. I don't want that from a lot of female trap artists. I want them to be able to keep going up with their flow and whatnot. But with a lot of the male vocals and stuff, like you have your YB, Baby, like they're horrible. Honestly, they're really not good.
Or
You
they're
have
one
St.
trick
John's
ponies,
Ashton
right?
and stuff.
Like they
exactly.
have.
Oh yeah, they have one thing, but they'll recycle it and make 3 records in a year, and they don't need to do that. It's just it gets done to a point where, okay, if you're a new artist and whatnot, you might get that one flow, one sound that we all like. We're like, cool, that's really good. They'll make one record of it, and then 6 months later they'll make another record that sounds almost exactly the same, still doing that one trick sound. And the fact that they keep doing that and they're not learning from their mistakes and learning from the lessons of that, it's concerning for the genre, because now the genre to me is dying out. It's really
Like,
starting to just yeah.
It makes us
Say
upset
again.
because our thing about YB better is like a
It's a
trope
joke.
that for some reason Young Boy NBA, at least on DJ Academics' Instagram page, but also in a lot of places, like Young Boy NBA is considered to be like one of the top rappers in the game to beat right now. I'm like, what?
Why?
The
He's
rap
not
game is
even-
down bad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to say like here's the thing. Kendrick Lamar's record's probably going to drop this year. Like I would, if I were a betting man, and not with money, but with fate, I definitely am a betting man. I would definitely say that Arguably. I would definitely say that Kendrick Lamar is going to be releasing a record this year because, like, he's on the tour circuit. We've gotten all these bubbling different things. He's been referencing it himself. It's been since 2017. That's going to be great for the rap in general because Kendrick is one of the GOATs. J. Cole's record was really lackluster. You had a lot of rap records that were kind of lackluster. You have some good people.
You didn't like it as much as I did. I thought J. Cole's record was okay. Some stuff on here I thought I really liked, and other things I didn't. But
it didn't last as long as I thought it would, as far as like a mainstream feel. J. Cole.
For sure. Like, it definitely didn't. It wasn't like KOD, where KOD, can still be played right now. But 21 South and whatnot, it's not going to be played as much, even though there's some decent stuff. I think, like, Meek Mill having a return to form last year is a good thing for him because he had a lot of influence in trap in general. I mean, his collaborations with Drake and whatnot just, exploded when that happened a few years ago. To hear his record last year, it's interesting to see what he's going to do, especially production-wise, because I think as a producer, he's had some decent hits and whatnot in the past year. So I want to see what he can do. But the biggest ones to me that really spelled trouble for a lot of the male rapper and trap artists are Drake and Kanye with their past two records, especially Kanye. It was such Donda 1 and 2 were not good at all. They're bad. They're bland. They're boring. All of the future sound just phoned in. It's not very, music forward. It's not pushing in the envelope like he normally does, and hasn't done in the past 6-7 years. But within that, you have so many people looking up to him, and whatnot, that it's just bland. And it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the genre. But I hope artists like Kid Cudi, can come in and make a little bit more records and whatnot, and to, push upon some sounds and ideas that they had last year, and be a little bit more thoughtful with those and experiment a little bit more with some of the sounds that they've played with last year. There's one more artist I can't, and Young Thug, that's the other one. Even Young Thug, you had on his record, you had some interesting ideas and sounds that we both liked, and I want them to experiment more with that. So there are those little bits of glimmers of hope from artists like that, from your Vince Staples, the Amines, Kid Cudi, Young Thug.
Let's shout out. Let's give Baby Keem, Isaiah Rashad, Vince Staples. Let's all these artists deserve the flowers as well.
Can make good. So they have those ideas. They have those things that they can now, experiment and produce a little bit more. But we need to stop giving attention to your YBs, your babies. Those guys they're awful. You're even with Corday, we had some issues with them, and some of the other artists and whatnot that are supposed to be the biggest ones in the world, like the best flow in the game. I'm like, they're not. They're not even remotely close.
Corday's latest album, and I had a lot of hope with Corday. It was a little bit of a snore, and I hope he returns to form. But exactly. My big thing that I want to highlight here, and maybe this is like the bombshell take of the episode, is rap is an old aging genre right now. Like, you have the old heads, which still like have their own corner, but increasingly you have people who like have not fully had closure from like the Kendrick, Drake, Kanye era, and we're still living in their world. And it's terrible because you aren't getting more music to get to bubble up from the surface and really take on here. And it's not going to be until some of these rap heads start to move forward from this old thinking until we'll get some of this better thinking. Because I get like Genesis Owusu's record that was like a little bit of indie, a little bit of spoken word rap. Incredible. You have Little Sims, you have Dua Saleh, you have so many of these artists out here who are pushing the boundaries with sound and soundscapes. Like I said, Snot is definitely going to be one of my favorites coming in right here. But what needs to happen is both on the production side, you need producers who come to the game every single day going, I'm not going to make what I heard yesterday. I'm not going to make what I heard last week. I'm not going to make what I heard like months ago, because this genre is on life support right now. I may not feel like it because much like electronic music, more on that later, you still get the audiences, you still get the fans, you still get the recognition. It's played already, but what's being played is the stuff from 3-4 years ago. The stuff that needs to be relevant, the stuff that needs to be new. We need to be pushing on that more. And you're getting it in some places, like we've mentioned. We just need more of that. And on the rap side, my final point is on the rap side, we need like not more Kendricks in the sense that I want people to sound more like Kendrick, but Kendrick can do different flows. Kendrick can do different beats. Like, we need rappers who are good rappers because they are versatile. because they can do different things, because they can work in different genres. That's what makes a good rapper, not just because they represented their hood and died early. All right, like our
No.
standards for good rap have got to like get back to the actual music and how it sounds, the actual like lyrical quality of that. And okay, I'm not even. I've moved on from being an anti-mumble rap guy to being an. I like the rhythmic kind of shit too. All right, but that needs to have a purpose as well, because you've seen it in our stances on recent trap reviews, and we're gonna continue. Like, if this was 2017, we might be nicer to some of these albums, but we've heard this already, and we've heard it too much already. So if we keep hearing this, we're gonna be part of a tide of people saying, "Do something different." Shout out T-Pain.
Exactly. He is 100% right on that too. T-Pain knows what's up.